Some critics of The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints point to Utah having a high suicide rate and place some of the blame on the church for that high rate. Their reasoning is flawed. Though most residents of Utah are Latter-day Saints technically speaking, quite a few of them are not active. When one counts the number of those who are not members along with inactive members, this large pool constitutes the majority of population of Utah. Making a correlation between the church and suicide is not as easy as they pretend. One would have to prove a disproportionate number of those who commit suicide in Utah are active Latter-day Saints to place true blame on the church. What are the facts? Suicide rates are higher in the western parts of the United States than the east. The Intermountain area, which encompasses Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico, is sometimes called the suicide belt for its high rates of suicide. Utah ranks among the lowest levels of suicide in the suicide belt. In 2004, Utah had a suicide rate of 15.6 per 100,000, while Montana and Nevada rate of 18.9, New Mexico of 18.7, Wyoming of 17.4, and Colorado of 17.3. These are sort of dated statistics, but then again, the argument made by critics is old, so it fits appropriately. Religious activity can play a role in suicide rates. Generally, people who are active in their religious faiths tend to have a lower rate of suicide. In this study, they found levels or religious involvement had an inverse relationship with suicide. However, simply being more active in church is not cure-all for suicide. Even the most dedicated, active member of any religion can suffer mental illness just as they can suffer any other illness, from cancer to kidney failure. People can find whatever they want if they look hard enough. For example, if one wanted to make some correlation between suicide and Southern Baptists, they could find something if they wanted to. Of the 13 states where the Southern Baptists have more congregations than any other denomination, 11 have a higher suicide rate than the national average in 2004. These states are Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Only Texas and Georgia having a lower rate of suicide than the national average. It is not known exactly why suicide is higher in western states than in other places. Perhaps it is greater access to guns, altitude, antidepressant drugs, or a combination of many different things. Suicide occurs in every group, whether it be Christians, Muslims, or atheists. Mental illness is a real issue. Latter-day Saints can be subject to depression as anyone else. A Latter-day Saint suffering depression can leave the church, but that will not remove the depression from that person. When it comes to suicide, blaming any group on suicide rates simply is not helpful in addressing the problem. Thank you for your time.